Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy, man. For today's video, we got the top 10 non-MVP seasons of all time. I'm going to assume that it's related to basketball, as it's by my dude, Johnny Arnett, man. Link to his channel description below. Yeah, so ain't nothing worse than when you're just, like, expecting your favorite player to get the MVP, and some other bitch ass comes and snags it away, bro. Let's get this going.
There have been many incredible seasons throughout the game's history, but a lot of them, for one reason or another, were not selected as the league's most valuable
Jerry
player.
West was kind of a weird offensive player.
So frustrating that it's enough to make you want to pull your hair out.
Wish I
Speaking
could.
of which, today's sponsor is Keeps. Keeps is a
What do we got here,
subscription
man?
service that's focused to make
I'm
it
actually
easier
kinda-
and affordable for men to treat male pattern baldness all online.
Bro, I use shampoo, man. Shampoo just works completely fine for me, bro. Okay, man. I've been rocking, this hairline for a while now, and that's all because of my shampoo treatment. Okay.
Establish my one rule of this list. Each player only gets one spot on the list, so I will only rank a player's best season in which he didn't win the MVP award.
I like that.
This should give a nice variety to the list and make the video a bit more interesting, because otherwise 80% of this list would
LeBron.
be made up of just two players. Also, these are the honorable mentions of the greatest non-MVP seasons that didn't make the list. Let me know which one of these
Huh. Okay.
had the best case to make it into the top 10.
Archibald,
So without further
73.
ado, let's get into it. Number 10, Dwayne
Dwayne
Wade in the
Wade.
08 to 09 season.
Wade ain't got MVP, does
LeBron
he?
James won the MVP award this season thanks to his team's superior record. Not only was Wade's campaign the second best season
Bro, look at
overall
that
year,
shot.
but it was also
My
the
goodness.
best season of Wade's career from an individual standpoint.
Sean
as he
Marion out
put
there?
up all-around monstrous numbers of 30.2 points, 7.5 assists, 5 rebounds,
One of my favorite players of all
2.2
time,
steals,
just not
and
right here.
1.3 blocks on 49.1% shooting. Wade was the NBA scoring champion that season while maintaining his elite
show the dunk on
efficiency.
Varejao.
He was also a dominant force on defense as he finished on the NBA's second all-defense team. But I would actually argue
Best shot
that he
blocking
should have
shooting
been on the
guard
first
of all
team,
time.
as Wade's 1.3 blocks was good
Yep.
enough to have him finish in the 16th spot among all players, and he was the only guard in the entire league to make the top 20. His 2.2
Block Big
steals
Ben?
were second
Or that was
overall
like
among
Stuckey.
all
That was
players
Stuckey.
as well. Statistically, there's very few aspects where Wade didn't dominate on the court. It comes as no
Fast,
surprise,
man.
as
Damn.
The 27-year-old was still in his prime in terms of his speed and athleticism. He would have seriously challenged LeBron for the award
Bro, he's
if it wasn't
taller.
for
Look
his
at that,
team's
man.
43-39 record that season, which held his
Got
case
about a foot
back
on him.
regardless of his individual prowess. Number 9, James Harden in the 18 to 19
It's one with
season.
Giannis, wasn't it?
As many of you already know, he narrowly and controversially lost this award
Yep.
to Giannis despite having one of the most dominant scoring seasons of all time, as he put up a
Hero ball
league-leading
don't do it, though.
36.1 points, 7.5 assists.
Yeah, but
6
if your opponent's putting up 37 points and beating you every single game, then it don't matter. Like, we know this hero ball shit don't work, so I don't even think it's controversial anymore.
6 rebounds and 2 steals on 44.2%.
If I'm being honest.
Let me
If I'm
give you
being
a couple of facts
Giannis.
to emphasize how historic this season was for Harden offensively. With a minimum of 50 games played, Harden's 36.1 points makes him the third highest scorer of all time, trailing only seasons from Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain.
I was gonna
He had a
say.
streak of 32 straight games where he scored at least 30 points, which trails only the streak of Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, if Westbrook
Harden
got one for his
also
triple
averaged
doubles, then
8.1 more points
Harden
than the
probably should've got
closest
one.
competitor that season,
Even if it was
which
hero
was
ball.
Paul George. The only player to have a greater margin to win the scoring crown was once again Wilt Chamberlain in 1962
Wilt Chamberlain
and
against damn
1963.
John the accountant.
He also led all players this season in three-pointers made and in overall win shares. His 378 three-pointers made in a season is still
Second all
the
time?
second most
Steph
of
Curry?
all time. He led his Rockets to a successful 53-29 record, and when you consider all of the skills he displayed this season, in combination
Yeah,
with
let his
all
team
of
do
the
a damn
history
choked
he
up
made,
second round exit,
this
too.
will certainly remain as one of the greatest MVP snubs of all time.
I have nothing against
Number
James Harden or
8,
the Rockets, by the
Oscar
way.
Robertson in the 61-62 season.
Do you have a
Imagine
triple-double?
leading your team to a winning record, averaging a 30-point triple-double over the course of a season,
Ooh,
which
damn.
no other player had ever done before, and you only finished third in the
Third?
NBA's MVP race. That's the insanely unfortunate circumstance
got it
that
over
Oscar
him?
found himself in
LeBron?
at the end of the 1962 season. Other than several seasons by
Who got
Russell
over him?
Westbrook, this was the only triple-double average that the league had ever seen. as he finished 5th in scoring, 1st in assists, and 9th in rebounds as he led his Royals to a 43-37 record. Number 7. LeBron James in the 17-18 season. This season, Cleveland dealt with almost every form of team drama imaginable, as injuries, personnel changes, and chemistry issues plagued the team throughout the season. Despite their troubles, LeBron found a way to carry his Cavs to a 50-32 record for the 4th best record in the Eastern Conference. He did it with averages of 27.2 points, 8.6 rebounds, 9.1 assists, and 1.4 steals on a very efficient 54.2% from the field. What he went on to do in the playoffs was absolutely incredible, and if the postseason was included, this
you know he's feeling good about that, man.
would be ranked even higher. But without it, it's just good enough to make the 7th spot on my list. Number 6. Hakeem Olajuwon in the 92-93 season. It was the season before the Dream started collecting his championship rings, but from an individual standpoint, you could argue that this was the best version of him that we had ever seen, as he put up insane all-around numbers of 26.1 points, 13 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.8 steals, and 4.2 blocks on 52.9%
Maybe not 4
shooting.
blocks, but
His quick hands and dominant rim protection earned him that season's Defensive Player of the Year award, and the voting wasn't even that close on that one. Charles Barkley was the winner of that season's MVP award, but that was mostly due to the Suns' best record in the league, and not because of his superior production, because Hakeem certainly had the edge in that aspect. Let me put his all-around dominance in perspective.
Let's hear it.
This era was absolutely stacked with big men, and was probably the strongest era of the center position that the game has ever seen. Regardless of that fact, among centers, Hakeem was 1st in scoring, 2nd in rebounds, 3rd in assists, 1st in steals, and 1st in blocks.
That was probably Mutombo around too.
Skill and artistry in which he did it, and it's definitely one of the greatest MVP snubs of all time. Number 5. Kobe Bryant in the 05-06
Oh, this is Steve Nash, right?
The Lakers finished this season with a 45-37 record in a tough Western Conference, which is almost never enough wins to earn an MVP award. But I would argue that these Lakers had no business winning that many games in the first place. Outside of Kobe and Lamar Odom, the Lakers who started
That's not Lamar Odom for people watching that.
Kwame Brown, Chris Mihm, and Luke Walton.
None of those guys.
To simply say that Kobe carried this group would be an understatement on a biblical level. On the year, Kobe averaged a league-leading 35.4 points, 5.3 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and 1.8 steals on 45% shooting. When Kobe put up 35.4 points per game, he did it during one of the lowest scoring seasons in NBA history, as teams were averaging only 97 points per game, which means Kobe equaled 36.5% of a team's average in points that season. That's the greatest percentage of offense since the NBA merger in 1976. Not only was he a one-man show on offense, but he was the best defender at his position, as he made first-team All-Defense. Kobe is the only player in league history to officially average over 35 points per game,
right there, but look at the rest of them dudes out there, man.
In the same season.
That Devon Cook.
Throw in his iconic 81-point game, 55 points and a half, and 62 points in 3 quarters, and I'm very comfortable putting this season in the top 5. Number 4, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the 72-73 season. Dave Cowens of the Boston Celtics was awarded that season's MVP in large part as a reward for their 68-14 record. Kareem's Bucks had an inferior 60-22
stepdad used to beat me
record,
down with
but by just about
Dave
every
Cowens in
individual
2K.
metric, he was on a level above Cowens, as Kareem put up 30.2 points, 16.1 rebounds,
Nobody
and
talks
5
about Dave
assists
Cowens,
on
though.
55.4% shooting. Block shots were not officially tracked until the following season,
Probably
but
about
over
12
those next 7 years, Kareem averaged 3.5 blocks per game, so it's probably fair to guess that his average was around the same this season.
Okay.
He was by far that
Probably
season's
a more,
leader in
better
both
way to do
win
it.
shares and in player efficiency rating. Maybe voter fatigue played somewhat of a part that season, as this would have been Kareem's 3rd straight MVP award. But no matter how you look at it outside of the team's record, he was easily
I wish
the
I was that
greatest
damn
player
tall,
that
though.
season. Number 3, Larry Bird in the 87-88 season.
Cannonball, slingshot, jump shot.
Won the award in 1988 and had
I tried shooting like that the other day at the gym. It don't work very well.
Of all time. And unfortunately for Larry,
he
he had his personal greatest season that same year, And with this same performance, Larry would have won the MVP in 95% of the other NBA seasons. He led his Celtics to the first seed in the Eastern Conference with a record of 57-25. On the year, he averaged about 30 points, 9.3 rebounds, 6.1 assists, and 1.6
that wasn't Dave
steals
Collins.
on 52.7% shooting. Offensively, this was among the most efficient seasons of all time, as Larry had well over 50-40-90 percentages, which only 9 players have ever done in NBA history.
Malcolm
And
Brogdon.
other than Steph Curry in 2016, no one has ever averaged more points than Larry did while eclipsing 50-40-90 percentages. This perimeter efficiency wasn't without volume, as he was 5th in field goals attempted and 4th overall in three-pointers attempted.
Very impressive.
As far as the
Probably could
regular
have got the
season
MVP
goes,
then.
this was the very peak of Larry Legend's powers.
He got like 3 of
Number
them though,
2,
doesn't he?
Michael Jordan in the 88-89 season. Magic Johnson certainly wasn't a bad choice to win the MVP.
Yeah, at that point, you just gotta pick one.
As he put up strong numbers and led his Showtime Lakers to the best record in their conference.
Showtime.
But this was also one of the best versions of Michael
Knock his ass
Jordan
down, knock his
we've
ass down.
ever seen
Okay.
from an individual standpoint, as he poured in 32.5 points,
show the lowlights
8
of this.
rebounds, 8 assists, and 2.9 steals on 53.8% shooting. In the final third of the season, Doug Collins moved Jordan to the point guard position. During that time as the point guard, Jordan had a streak where he had 7 straight triple-doubles and 10 triple-doubles in 11 games.
Hey, Russell
That
Westbrook
7
bag.
straight triple-doubles is a streak that's only been eclipsed by Russell Westbrook and Wilt Chamberlain. As usual, Jordan was also the best defender at his position as he made first-team All-Defense. On the year, he was first in win shares, first in player efficiency rating, and first in plus minus. There's almost no aspects where he wasn't dominating the opponent this season. Number 1. Wilt Chamberlain in the 61.
Let's hear this stat line. It's about to be crazy.
The
Yo, look
top
at all.
spot comes as no surprise.
Y'all see Anthony Davis Jr. to the left? Sorry, that was mean. I'm sorry. I'm so okay.
As Chamberlain's greatest season featured averages that would be difficult to eclipse even in video games. Other than a game where he was
Especially in
ejected
5-minute
by
quarters.
the ref, he played in every single minute that regular season, and he destroyed his opponent on a nightly basis as he averaged 50.4 points.
Yeah, he actually averaged more
25.7
minutes than an NBA
rebounds,
game because
and
of OT.
2.4 assists on 50.6% shooting. No one else has ever averaged over 40 points in a season, and Wilt Chamberlain eclipsed 50.
How did he not get it?
No
Who
one has
won
ever
it?
averaged
Who'd
as
they give
many
it to?
rebounds as Wilt did this season.
Dave Collins?
I could go on and on, giving incredible facts about this season, but the truth is, it would take too long and isn't completely necessary, as the majority of Wilt Chamberlain's greatest achievements came from this season, including his 100-point game in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
How are you
We
that
don't
good at
have his
basketball?
official blocks averages this season, but based on the fact that he later averaged 8.8 per game in his twilight years, there's a real possibility he averaged double-digit blocks this season to go along with his other goofy numbers. Despite being on a less talented squad compared to the other teams atop of the league, he was still able to lead his Warriors to a 49-31 record, and as a result of all of this season sits comfortably as the greatest non-MVP season of all time.
Yeah, it's fair to say.
Do you agree with the list? Is there any great seasons that should have been on it? Let me know.
Yeah, I think Big Ben or Sheed probably should have got back in 04, but you know, it is what it is. But besides that, I think it was a pretty good list. I can't think nothing better, man. That's all we got for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.